Hey everybody! Getting started. So we have Odari and Stephen Booth in the chat. How you guys doing today? Oh, that was a yawn. Sorry. We're having a nice chill Sunday today. See, Odari and occasionally Stephen Booth are both streamers here on Behance. Wow, if my keyboard could work right, that would be great. Links to my friends. Alright, getting started. My name is Sara Mapes and I'm an illustrator and designer from Ohio. Let's switch my screen over to Fresco. Oh. 1 second, the iPad is disconnected. There it is. Sorry about that. I'm really good at forgetting to put that up there. Hey Bliss, how you doing? Bliss is here, and Dave is here, my wonderful mod. Okay, we're gonna take this out. Sorry. I had a clip thing in, and it's getting stuck on the back of my hair and my hoodie, and it was beginning to anger me. Bliss is another streamer here on Behance. Be sure to go check Bliss out. I believe Bliss and Odari also have subscriptions, so if you're into that kind of thing, go check it out. Oh, Jack Watson is here as well. Oh, iPad, what happened? It locked because I'm slow. Sorry, everybody. Too busy chatting. Alright, let's zoom out of here. We'll grab a link for Jack, who has been the busiest woman lately. Jack is another streamer here on Behance and is hosting the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenges this week. Alright, so today we're going to keep working on this illustration. I started this off stream, I painted the background and everything, and now we're adding characters into the background that I have. The background is flattened. I explained that yesterday. It's just on one layer and it's flattened right now. I do have the layered file in a separate file, so if I need to make any changes to that, I can always go back and change it. We have a lot going on here. Lots of textures and stuff. So anyhow, we got about halfway yesterday through filling in the base color for her. And then while I was sitting on the couch here this morning, I started to fill in the color for her. They don't have names yet, so so we're just gonna finish filling in. I think we just need to do her facial features, and then we're gonna work on adding some like textured outlines in places that are gonna be low contrast areas. I explained this yesterday, like between the fingers, the bottom of the head, like on the chin right here, stuff like that. So Odari says very cool. Thanks, Odari. Yeah, I'm hoping to just have a nice chill stream today. It's been a very busy week, and I don't know, we're feeling a little low energy today, I guess. Alright, let's hiccup and then start with the cheeks. Dave and I just ate pizza rolls like we were 15 and in high school again. It was glorious. I've not had a pizza roll and I can't tell you how long. Like the little Tostino's pizza rolls. Alright. Sure. Yeah, those match good. Actually, I think we might need to make those a little bit more oval. I think they were a little too round. There we go. That's pretty good. Potari says yummy. Jack says, oh my god, pizza rolls. I don't know what I'm doing for dinner yet. I don't know. We're having pork chops, I think. But I was really hungry before my stream started. And we put pizza rolls in the air fryer. So like the outside was nice and crispy. And they didn't like, I don't know, like when you put them in the oven or if you try the microwave, they get like soggy and they're gross. Alright, let's float over here and I need to grab this eye color because I've been using that for all of their eyes. We're gonna hide the hair for a moment just so I have like a clear space to work without the hair like interrupting what I'm doing. Kind of just trim these edges a little bit so they're a little bit neater. Here's to hoping I won't draw on the wrong layer today. I already did that once when I was doing the Sun Puff, the second character with the little dress. When I was doing her eyes earlier, I drew on the wrong layer just like I did yesterday. Twice. Jack says, yeah, I can't do the microwave. I don't have an air fryer, though. You fancy. And Dave is saying her grandma gave it to her. My grandma is the queen of kitchen electrics. Not electrics, appliances is really what I was trying to say. She, really enjoys HSN shopping. So we have a weird amount of strange kitchen appliances, or I shouldn't really say strange, some of them are strange. She got us a mini pie maker, so we have a mini pie maker. We have the air fryer. I have a set of like little fancy baking things. One is waffle sticks, the other one is mini cupcakes, and then the last one makes like shapes out of like little cakes or like cookies, whatever you want to do. And then she got us this little like Wolfgang Puck oven that is probably my favorite thing to ever exist. Dave says we just make the most of it. We really do. Odari says I need an air fryer in my life, and Bliss is saying I don't have an air fryer or a microwave. Hello, Umacorn, how you doing today? Umacorn is another streamer here on Behance. I think I got everybody's links today. How do you live without a microwave, Bliss? What do you use? I'm personally not like the biggest fan of microwaved food. Like I'm not like a huge fan of like microwaved leftovers or anything like that, so. Okay, we need to do that a bit different. Once again, my hand is a little shaky. The air fryer, I didn't think we would use it when I first got it as much as we do, and I love that thing. I just talked two of my friends into getting an air fryer. Oh, I'm sorry, Bliss. Bliss says, "Wow, Sarah, the tone when you said that, you made me feel like I was some kind of survivalist living out in the woods or something." No, I just like, do you just heat everything up in the oven, or do you have like one of those like little like toaster ovens or like the convection oven? I don't know. Like I just feel like the microwave is handy. I didn't have one in my apartment before I lived with Dave for, probably like 2 months, and I got like really annoyed, and I got a used one from Walmart. A used one, a cheap one from Walmart, not a used one. What am I saying? I don't even know. I ended up getting a cheap one from Walmart because I was like, well, this is inconvenient. But maybe that's just because I was raised like on the microwave and like heating up foods like that. But I didn't mean it in a bad way. I'm sorry. Straightening out this area. Hope that is good enough. Yeah, let's roll with that for right now. So Daria is saying, I bet your grandmother is like an Earth version of Aunt Beru. Awesome. I don't know what that is, and now I feel like I need to know. My grandma hates cooking. Hates cooking. She's not a chef. So she sees like all this fun little stuff and she's like, you can do all this stuff. And I'm like, Grandma, I don't really cook either. So Bliss says, yes, I have a stove slash oven for everything. And Bliss is saying, I have a small kitchen, so I don't really worry too much about adding any appliances. Growing up, though, we mostly had a toaster oven, even though we had a microwave. See, I prefer the toaster oven, too. Bliss is saying, but I prefer the toaster oven and stove over the microwave. I agree. The little Wolfgang Puck thing that we have, it's like this little, like, round thing that it's essentially a toaster oven, but not. We cook everything in it. We cook chicken, pizza, we've cooked salmon in it before. It's really good for reheating pizza. We put literally everything in this little tiny oven, so we never have to turn like our big oven on. I would trade our big oven, to be honest, for more counter space because we also have a really tiny kitchen. Okay, that went pretty good, and we kept everything on the right layer. Go us! Okay. Don't have to do a mouth for her, so that's one bonus. Oops. Alright, so let's pinch that closed. We're gonna hide our color palette for a moment, and then let's just hide our background. Or unhide our background, I should say. Alright, so I'm digging it. Obviously, we need to add like some grounding on them, like some shadows and stuff, so it doesn't look like they're just floating through the forest. I also would like to play with like some overlays with some lighting and stuff. So they look like they're more part of the scene, but I think we're gonna wait to do that till the end. We're not gonna get like too dramatic with it, I don't think, just because like I don't want it to take away from like the colors of like the sky and the background and everything. Plus, I didn't really intend for this to be like... Sorry, the music was very loud in my ear. I didn't really intend for this to be like a super dramatic lighting piece, if that makes sense. Oh, Dave is saying that garlic parmesan salmon turns out really well in the little guy. Yes. Oh, okay. Stephen Booth is saying Aunt Beru was like Luke Skywalker's aunt in Star Wars. And Odari says, is confirming the same thing. Okay. Okay. I gotcha. I don't know why I didn't know that. I'm bad with names sometimes, like, unless it's something that I hear, like, repeatedly. So, like, I love Star Wars. Obviously, I know who Luke Skywalker is. I know the story. I've seen every Star Wars movie. I've watched all the shows that have been coming out. All that good stuff. But, that just didn't stick with me, I guess. Stephen Booth says, I mostly live on sandwiches and takeout. There's nothing wrong with that. Sandwiches are delicious. It was a sandwich squad yesterday. Okay, so... You know, I think we're good to not use this gray background. We'll keep it there, just in case. I am gonna hide this front area. Oh, sorry. I'm tired today. I'm gonna hide this front area just so it's out of the way. Okay, let's do a little cleanup while we're in here, and let's just, name some of these layers so it's a bit easier to navigate. I don't know what this is. That's the back, her back thigh. All this, like, back clothing. Skin. All this whole group, clothes. Bangs. Call that the little bun. And then we'll call this, face. Okay, so that's just a little bit of cleanup there. Now that I, thanks to Bliss, know how to name my layers in Fresco. I'm never gonna let myself let that go. That was funny. Bliss says, yay, LOL. Okay. Sorry, that was my brain trying to, like, restart itself. We are going to do this on one layer that I can separate at some point later, if I need to, I think. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna go to my Jing sketch brushes. We're gonna find clean sketch, I think. Make a layer on top of my original sketch. Do I want that, or do I want... Yeah, I think this is what I want. We're gonna stick with that. Sorry. So we're just gonna use this nice textured brush so we keep with like the texture stuff and we don't start adding like super smooth lines to this. Outside of like the eyes, I don't mind if those stay smooth. just to add like a bit of detail here. Like I said, we were gonna add the eyebrows on this layer too. Do the same thing. Oh, Jerry says, wait, you're a Star Wars fan? You do know that I'm drawing streamers as Star Wars characters, only if you're a fan. I knew you were drawing people as Star Wars characters, because I saw the one that you did for, Gareth. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I wouldn't be opposed. That'd be super cool. Odaria is saying that goes for you as well. I love Star Wars. I don't want to say like I'm like some huge super fan, but I grew up watching all the movies. We had them on DVD. Okay, so I watched them with my grandpa, and then I watched them with my mom and my stepdad when like the prequel trilogy came out. We went to go see like the movies and everything. I saw the original with my grandpa, and then again with like my mom and my stepdad. We saw them in theaters, and then for whatever reason, my stepdad thought it would be the coolest thing ever to get them on Laserdisc when I was little. So I have also seen the 3 original ones on Laserdisc for some reason. I don't know why. And then, obviously I've seen the new stuff. I'm caught up on Mando and Book of Boba Fett. I haven't seen Visions yet. Not for lack of interest, just because it's not something that I've sat down and like spent a lot of time watching. I watched Bad Batch. I've seen some of Clone Wars, but I haven't seen all of it. And fun fact, I grew up with all boys on my street. So that was like the thing to do when like the plastic lightsabers came out. We played with like the plastic lightsabers, and I had Yodas because I thought Yoda was the coolest thing when I was like, I had to be like 10, so cut me some slack. I know not everybody likes the prequels, but like I thought Yoda was the coolest thing when I was like 10. Umacorn is giving the little side eyes. Dave says I'm obsessed with Mando. There's Grogu's in the background back there. While we're on this subject, hold please. To show you guys this magnificent, gigantic, we're gonna switch screens, off-topic stream today. This is a giant birthday present that I got. He's just a really large, really cute Grogu. Mocorn's laughing and says cute. And Odaria is saying, oh, Dave just said yes, notice the Grogu in the background. Switching back to Fresco, sorry. Okay, so you did Wade, Voodoo Val, and Dan Flores. Hey, I'm just saying I'm open to this because I love Star Wars. Like I said, I'm not like super fan extraordinaire, but I do love me some Star Wars, so. That was a not so nice line. My hand shook. And then scrolling back up, Bliss, every layer is a pixel layer. No, I've been working with vector layers. Oh, no, you were saying the naming. Okay, I'm caught up now. Slow. I'm sorry. Yes, every layer was pixel layer. And I thought it was the most frustrating thing. Bliss says, yeah, the naming. I always would get so frustrated in, like if I brought anything into Photoshop, I would be like, wow, I sure wish that like there was a way to actually like name these layers in Fresco. I need to hide that layer for a moment so I can draw this line properly. Okay. Let's go back in there and unhide that. I also just want everybody to know that it snowed again here. And I'm not happy about this. I'm really over the snow. Like, so beyond over it, it's not even funny. Okay, so just some minor details in here like that. Come down here and we'll probably do the tops of the fingers like this. I could have probably reused some of my, You're actually probably gonna need to hide her for a second because I can't see. I probably could have reused some of my line art that I did, but I didn't do a very clean job on it, and I don't want to spend the time cleaning it up. I would rather just like redraw it. See, like that's not right. Over here, we'll probably just do something really small like that. Okay. And then even though this is all on one layer, like these are on separate layers, I should say, not on one layer, I'm still gonna add a little bit of a detail line over here to kind of separate this out a bit. Bliss says it's okay, you're on a Star Wars tangent. No, Daria is saying, well, you and Stephen Booth are getting characters. This is the way. Yes! This is the way indeed. I will be so excited for that. So excited. Thank you ahead of time. I'm very excited. Gareth is here. Hello, Gareth. How are you doing today? Gareth also occasionally streams here on good old Behance. And Dave is commenting on the snow that it's just Cleveland's annual April Fools. You think it's spring, and just kidding. It's not. It's true. It's true. Cleveland is cruel like that. Gareth, I should have asked you yesterday, and I kind of forgot, unintentionally. I had a lot of energy yesterday. I was super high energy, and today I feel like all of that energy has just been absolutely sapped from my body. How's your leg doing? Bliss is saying, I think we had snow last week. Ugh, I'm sorry. And Gareth is saying, fine, thanks, Sarah, and thanks for the shout out. I think you said that before I asked how your leg was, though. Okay, so that's probably about as much work as we're gonna do with her skin. Let's go back to the hair. These little swirlies are a big part of like her character design. It's important that those kind of stick out. It's back on the snow conversation. I am very ready for it to be spring/summer so I can sit here with the window open and listen to the birds outside and get some fresh air while I sit here and work all day. Bliss says nothing that sucked though. Then Friday night we had storms roll through. I have the window up now. Is it like open or is it? I don't know. I'm very jealous if your window is open right now. Just so you know. Okay, so we're also pretty much gonna outline this whole bun back here because it's kind of hard to see against her bangs and the back of her hair. Just kidding, the bangs need to go in front of that bun. figure out what layer that's on. That's okay though. I think there is too much hair. Oh no, that's this top bun up here. Okay. So there's like a little section like here sticking out that really shouldn't be there. I mean, it can be there, it's not causing trouble, but I don't want it there. So we are going to delete or erase, I should say. Same thing with over here, so we stay inside of our lines. Okay, now we can unhide all of that. That way when I go to like make clipping masks later to shade everything, it's a little bit cleaner. Bliss says it to open, not all the way, but enough. If I opened ours today, it's 36 out, which is like right above freezing point. So, I mean, Bliss knows that, but like people on the other side of the world, you know. I'm not happy. It snowed this morning. Just put it that way. It's wet and it's cold and I want to be outside. And it's preventing me from doing that. So, sure I'm on the right layer here. Yes. We're just gonna cut right through this arm and then go back out and erase. And for the rendering style that I'm gonna do this in, we're not gonna do anything complex. It'll probably just be like basic 3-color shade, highlight, a darker tone if needed for like contrast or like where objects meet like other objects like clothing on skin or whatever. Oh, she's so cute. I love her. We'll also put a line there. Dave says 36, but it can literally drop to 15 degrees Fahrenheit at any moment because it's Cleveland. It's true. Or it'll magically get to 80 by 6 p.m. for some unknown reason. But then as soon as 9 o'clock hits, it'll snow again. I don't know how to explain it. Cleveland's weird. Jack says, oh my god, the snow. And Odaria is saying, ditto, where is springtime? I woke up to snow, Jack. It's gone now, thank goodness. It's gone here too, but it's still cold and gross out. Okay, so let's take this, and I need to kind of formulate a bit of a color palette for this because I haven't. We're gonna go pretty dark with this, but not the same color purple that I was using for the hair. I think that's a little too dark. And again, we're just gonna do the same thing that we were doing. We're gonna like use some colored lines to kind of separate these like overlapping objects and stuff and the details as I hiccup. Probably like through here. I was watching a reel on Instagram the other day of an artist who was doing all of like she does like paintings and stuff with like, they're like stylized paintings, like character paintings. And she always does like an inking process kind of like this, except she outlines the whole thing in black. And she like posted like a reel of her doing like her inking process, and I'm like, oh, what is that brush? Like, I really like that brush. I wonder if it's like downloadable somewhere. Here, it was the Jing sketch brush all along, and I already had it. I had just never thought to use it to ink or like do outlines before. Anybody working on anything exciting today? Umacorn, I saw you go live earlier, but I missed it. I always miss your streams, Umacorn. Yours and Odari's and Annika's streams I always miss. Umacorn says just some isometric building. I have to go back and watch the replay tomorrow. We have a new person starting at work tomorrow. And we're gonna be super busy, but I think like during my lunch I might take some actual time to myself and like relax, because it's gonna be, I have a feeling it's gonna be a very hectic day. Back and catch some replays for some streams I missed on the weekend. I don't have kids or any morning responsibilities, so I either sleep in on the weekends if I'm so inclined to, or I just become like a hermit and I just either sit and watch like a TV show with my coffee, or I'll read my book with a coffee. Okay. That. Her socks are kind of this yellowish color, so let's kind of make this darker but push it into like this orange a little bit, I think. leave that one off. I might choose to make this color that I'm putting here on like the rim of the socks. I might make that the skin color instead, like the dark skin color. So yeah, Aklog is here. Is that how you pronounce that? They say, hey everyone, I'm Aklog from Ethiopia, and it's their first time here. Hello and welcome to my stream. We are just working on adding some characters to this background that I painted. Right now we're just adding some detail lines to each one and kind of working that out a little bit. Umacorn says, my stream is more something you work along with instead of only watching. That can be quite boring, I think. Just watching or working along? Because I don't think working along is boring. I think that's super fun. I would like to do, like I did like those sketch with me things, and it wasn't really like working along with me so much as like, here's some poses, sketch them too, kind of thing. But I think those are super fun, and I would enjoy doing like a vector with me kind of thing where like we work on building some shapes together to create like a scene or like something. I kind of wanted to do that for my subscribers, but I haven't thought about how that would actually work with like people's schedules and stuff like that, and if they would be interested in it. So I don't think that's boring at all, is my point. Probably add this line here just because it comes down. Oop, too thick. Like that. Aklog says, thanks for your warm welcome, guys. No problem. We try to be welcoming here. Oh, Umacorn says just watching would be so boring. I get it, I get it. I don't think so, though. Like, I learn a lot just from watching people. I mean, I get it. And it can be, but sometimes it's, like, worth watching people just work just because, like, you'll learn or, like, you pick up, like, handy, like, workflow tips and stuff. Dave is saying, I feel like allowing your stream to be an extension of your personality is what makes a stream entertaining. I agree. So I try to be as upbeat as I can with my streams. But obviously that doesn't like always translate as well as I would like it to, because, you know, I have days where I'm tired. Today's it's a pretty chill day. We had to fill out this thing for work for the new person since like we're fully remote. And it's like a quick like blurb, like get to know me. And one of the questions was like, what do you enjoy doing outside of work? And mine was literally, I stream on Behance on the weekends and I pretty much do nothing with my life outside of work other than I keep drawing and I play video games and watch anime. So I just thought it was funny because like my life is just Behance in a good way. Bookcorn says, I try to be as natural as possible. I guess it's better now than my first few streams. Hey, my first few streams were also... I was so nervous, like... I like didn't know what to do with myself. I did that like little witch postcard on one of like my first streams because it was around like Halloween. And Ryan came into my stream, Ryan Selvey, and I like had only ever talked to him through like email and like getting started with like Behance streaming, and I got like so weirdly paranoid, if that makes sense. It was funny. You could just like tell, like he was asking me like questions about the witch and I was like, I want to hide. I don't know why I was like that. I just got shy. Oh, Dave is explaining his psychology major stuff. Look at you learning things, doing things, analyzing things. He's probably in the office like, shut up, Sarah. Stephen Booth says, part of the reason I don't stream often is it terrifies me. It can be really nerve-wracking sometimes. Honestly, what keeps me going is how friendly all of you are. Like, if the community and like everybody who frequents my streams was different and like I didn't have friendly people in my streams and it was just people like my singular experience on Twitch when I tried to like stream my art was just like, what's the point of what you're doing? What is it you're trying to accomplish? They were like grilling me with questions. I think if like it was like this on here, I definitely wouldn't stream. But no, I like my point is I completely understand this is too curved. I've gotten a lot more natural with it. But I do definitely feel what you're saying. My point is you guys are great. And thank you for being friendly and supportive and happy and just nice. Oh, Adobe Live is here. Hello, Adobe Live. Odari is saying, I love Ryan. If you're having a bad day, he makes it all better. He's so fun and funny. I agree, and I didn't really know anything about him. Like that stream I was talking about. His streams are super fun. He normally streams like right as I'm getting out of work. So I often don't get to catch them. But I agree. He swooped in with his magic mod powers too. His Behance mod powers when that stream was going on, because the conversation was getting kind of really uncomfortable. People were talking about like a subject I didn't want them to be talking about on stream. Thanks, Dave. Everybody is welcoming Adobe Live. We'll zoom out really quick. We are working in Fresco today. For those of you just joining from Adobe Live, if you're interested in, we are adding some characters to this background that I painted. Let me unhide the front leaves here because that looks ridiculous. So right now we are working on adding a couple detail lines here and there on each of the characters, and then I will start adding just some basic 3-color shading that will be textured much like the background here. Probably not get as crazy with the texturing. And then we're probably going to add some overlays to this and work on adding a little bit of like depth and lighting to the piece, even though we don't have like an extremely strong light source. So just because like the colors and everything, our light source is technically up here. So let's get rid of those. We will do a quick save. Umacorn's agreeing with what I said. Yes. I would not be nervous now if he popped into one of my streams. It just was like a thing when I first started. I was just like, oh god, what do I do? I don't know why. Dave is talking about streaming on Twitch. He did used to stream on Twitch for a little while. He streamed Final Fantasy when we were playing, and Raj is in the chat. Hello, Raj. How are you today? Thanks for joining. Raj says super. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to... This is like way too green. I don't think I meant for this to be that green. I'd like to change this to dip down and be a bit more blue. It's not much of a difference. Let's go even further. That's still too green, I think. You know, no, that's fine. Let's stick with it. Okay, we're gonna cut right through this hand like we did before in the moon puff, and we'll go back and we'll erase that. Kind of cut this way a little bit. I feel like I also need to design a male character that goes with these guys. Just because I've designed 3 girls now and I haven't designed a male. So that might be something I choose to work on stream for a little bit at some point. It's got a little pocket on her dress. That's probably good. Dave's talking about all the games he streams. Talking about Rocket League, Lost Ark, and Final Fantasy, and how we are excited for the new patch on Final Fantasy. We are. I feel like I need a darker color here. Let's grab this. I'll lock the transparency here. That's a little bit better. We can unlock that. Anybody enjoys MMOs, I would highly recommend the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy XIV online. You can all finish the meme if you want, if you know it. Dave, it's free up to level 60. It's true. Umokrinz has never played the game before, only saw an animation. For Final Fantasy, that seems to be, a lot of people say that, which is okay. Nothing wrong with that. We just need a little line here. And then I would really like to adjust down here. I'm gonna fix how these don't overlap, how I want them to, when I work on shading this part, but at least the line work will be there, so. So maybe I can just fix that. Make that a little bit. That's probably fine. We'll just stick with that. Oh, Stephen Booth, I think we brought this up one time on stream too when we were talking about it. Dave says, everyone I tell to play it, I make sure specifically to specify to approach it as if it were a single player RPG. It's much more enjoyable that way. Yes, I agree. Okay, so we're gonna come down here. Gotta be careful we don't overlap those lines on the moon puff. Stephen Booth is saying, I saw a couple of the films. One I gather is one people who play the games don't enjoy. Yes, The Spirits Within or whatever, which I still have not seen, is one that people apparently really don't like. A great stream. We're talking about Final Fantasy. We talked about Star Wars. I'm living for it. Okay. Take this orange. We're gonna have to go darker with it. Just add a line here, even though it's really not needed. Dave is saying to say that movie is a Final Fantasy would be a stretch. I agree. It was a try. Alright, so we're just gonna add some ties using the line work too on her boots. We will do some little loopies like that too. Dave says, I'm not saying it's bad, it's just not Final Fantasy. That's true. Umacorn is saying, are you humming Dave? Who's off on a tangent. A good tangent. We like that tangent. Let's see what time it is. Is it? What time it is? It's 3:11 already. What a, oops, nice chill stream today. Alright. Save that. Dave says there are actually decent Final Fantasy films that are actually Final Fantasy. Kingsglaive and the Final Fantasy VII One Advent Children were very good. Okay, she just needs eyebrows, and then I think... Oh, we still have to do her hair. Just kidding. I was gonna say I think she's good, but she has hairlines we need to add too. Okay. I was really hoping I'd get a lot farther than this today, but alas. My back is super sore today. I keep trying to make myself sit up. Anyone else have that problem? Slouch and you don't catch yourself slouching until it hurts and you're just like, oh, well, if I would have sat up like a normal person. Okay, just a few more lines on her, and then we can hopefully move to the last character in this scene, and maybe we can even get some shading going. I don't know. Ooh, whoops. A little too thick. Oh, Omicron says, oh, I saw Kingsglaive with the voice of Sean Bean as the king. Yes, indeed. I was actually talking about replaying Final Fantasy 15 with my friends yesterday. And Dave. Oh, gotta do down here too. She has like leg warmers under her boots, so I want them to kind of like convey as like a sweater pattern over here. And then I think we need to take whatever this color is and also make it a bit darker for right there and right there. And go ahead and save. I think we also need to do in here, well, maybe not. No, I think that's fine. I do need this color though, so I can add some outlines to these ribbons, and then I think we're done. Maybe. Okay. Dave says Peanut is currently having a duel of the fates of the penguin plushie. I thought I heard something coming from the other room. Peanut is one of the ferrets. She is absolutely adorable and so incredibly feisty. And good for Peanut. Good for her having a duel of the fates with the penguin plushie. I guess. So this is their pale, grumpy older sister. She's gonna be the Star Puff. Did Peanut win against the penguin? I almost called it the penguin puff, by the way. Sorry about that, that was a sneeze. So weather's been so back and forth, my sinuses have kind of been bothering me. Dave says no, Peanut lost. Poor Peanut. She tried, that's all that matters. Peanut is the world's biggest chicken, and she's the second largest ferret. Sid is just slightly bigger than her. Okay. Let's give this another save. It just froze a little. Dave says she's taking out her frustrations on the tube now. Ferrets are such wonderfully strange little creatures. I hope everybody has the chance to experience one in their life. Umacorn is laughing. And then we have Exotics in the chat asking, what is the app called? We are currently in Adobe Fresco for the iPad. It is also available for the desktop as well. Ooh, let's put, need to give her her eyebrows. Let's do that. Her eyes need to be above her hair, so they cut through it. I don't know why I didn't do that to begin with. Exotic says, thank you. Wish you the best in your career. Thank you very much. Oop, that's not the color we wanted. This is. So I was really torn on what to do for her hairstyle. I wanted her to kind of be, so like, trying to figure out how to word this. I wanted her to kind of be like a little bit of a mix between the moon and the sun puff. So I gave her like this big, like round, like curly, like front bob cut, kind of like the curls on like the moon puff here, but then I also gave her like the square like cut bangs like that, and like square cut back here too. I also did the same thing in my folktale week illustration, which is somewhere. There's a lot of memes in here. Excuse all the memes. I actually have no idea where that illustration is. Oh, you know, it might be easier to just go into... Oh, did I not do this one? I have a point, I swear. I don't think I did the last Folktale Week illustration on the iPad. I think I might have done it on the desktop. Anyhow, the mom that I drew for the Folktale Week illustration, she has like a big crown on, and then I put like the big circle like shapes on top of her head, so like her hair's up in like a bunch of circles. And then I also gave her like square bangs, so they all kind of like stick in the same like they all look similar since like they're stylized and you can't really make them like have like certain defining like facial features, so that's one of the ways that I tried to make them look like they were all related, is the point that I was trying to make. I thought I could pull up that other reference picture really easy, and apparently not. Alright, so I got about a half hour left if anybody has any questions or anything. We're just gonna erase these parts that are covering... Oops. I hate it when I do that. That are covering her eyelashes here. I don't really want that. Mokrin says, oh, I missed Corey's stream on YouTube. We'll watch it after your stream. Like, Corey from, like, Jackie's streams? The Crack of Time stuff? I know it was mentioned in the chat yesterday that they were doing some kind of coffee thing, and I was curious about it. And Mokrin says, yes, Corey from Jack's stream. I've only met Corey once. Once in my life. I was very curious about what kind of a coffee thing they were doing this morning, but I'm not an early riser, like I said, so maybe I'll have to go check that out as well. And Mokrin says Jack and Corey are such foodies. I love it, right? I don't know if Jack's still here, but I aspire to be that level of a foodie. I cannot cook, and I'm a picky eater, though. So, within the realm of my picky eaterness. McCorn says LOL. Oh, Jack says, sorry I was typing, but yes, I'm still around. I aspire to be your level of foodie. That's all we were saying. And we were inquiring as to how the stream went this morning for Corey on YouTube. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Ooh, we need to do a belt buckle. So I think for the belt buckle, we're just gonna keep this nice and simple. We can always lock onto these pixels later and adjust. And then I just realized we need to add some lines for her shoes too, and then I think we'll be like done. Okay. Do a quick save. Let's unhide that guy again. We'll do a quick zoom out. So that is pretty good. For the past 2 days, I think. Oh, we need to add the moon on her overalls. Let's do it in blue. I'm gonna take there we go. I think we're gonna add some little sun patterns on the Sun Puff's dress too, and I think we're gonna put some stars on her shirt. Currently debating how I want to go about doing that. If I want to make like a pattern in Illustrator and then import it and put it in like a clipping mask. Why not? I just want to erase. Not that big. Do blue or do I want to do something a little brighter for that? Suppose we'll stick with that for right now. That's a little bit clearer to see. Nudge that over. Oh. Okay. Or if we could take this really bright pink color we have here. I don't know if I want to do a little star pattern or if I want to add like way too thick. Maybe I give her like a little star patch on her jeans here. Make that, oh, deselect, grab too much of that. If we make this a little bit bigger. Can go duplicate selection. Maybe we put one on her jeans down here. We could also like erase part of it. Add like some stitching. I know you won't really be able to see it zoomed out, but oh, if we do like a maybe one that isn't quite so large over here, or quite so purple, I should say. All right. Let's see if we can quickly whip up. I would like to put a pattern on her dress, like a very subtle pattern that we can like put multiply in on her dress. Let's just do like 800 by, well, let's do 1,000. We'll just make a square. 1,000. Center this guy at black for right now. And then what if we do maybe not. Hello, the El Señor Croco? Is that how you say that? How are you doing today? For anyone just joining, I have also switched programs. I'm currently in Adobe Illustrator, but I'm going back to Fresco. that's fine. We'll go with this. El Senor Croco is asking, I never go with Fresco. I'm curious, can you say the main differences between Fresco and Illustrator? So Illustrator is mostly a vector-based program, so you're gonna get really smooth, really clean shapes. Everything's gonna work off of paths and the pen tool. There's also a pencil tool, but everything will draw in paths and can be converted to either a fill or a line. Whereas Fresco, what we're currently working in, I just stopped to make a pattern, is it has some vector brushes, it has some live watercolor brushes, oil brushes, it also has a vector brush. So Fresco is kind of like a fun and happy little hybrid between Illustrator and Photoshop. It's not fueled by vector the way that Illustrator is, but it does have like some vector properties that you can do with like vector brushes and stuff, if that makes sense. So this was all created in Fresco. Right now I'm just creating a pattern in Adobe Illustrator on the iPad. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so we're gonna make that pretty small. And I might have to go back and adjust this a few times depending. Let's do a grid repeat. We're just gonna center that whole thing like that. And then we can offset the rows. Yeah. That's probably fine. Separate that out a little bit more so it's not like so on top of one another. Okay, just gonna come out here really quick. Rename this. Okay, that was supposed to say pattern, but it auto-corrected to Astern, whatever that means, so that's what it's gonna be. Alright, we're gonna export this as a PNG so it doesn't have a background. Save image. Let's come back here. We're gonna go into the sun puff. And let's bring that guy in. Let's convert this to a pixel layer and clip it. And then we can set it to multiply. And then we can put cute little sun pattern on her dress, I think. That looks rather nice. Probably make it a little bit bigger. And I was debating doing the same thing with the shirt on the star puff, but I think that might be too much of a pattern, so I think we're just gonna like, for now, we're gonna stick with what we have for her. So on that note, I am pretty good to start shading and everything. Grab this color because I just noticed I forgot to fill in the buttons on her overalls. I don't know. I don't know why that's there. I'm gonna leave it in case I needed it for something. Also don't know why that is there. we're gonna delete that. We can hide our sketch layer now, which I believe is this, yes. And we're gonna drag that underneath everything so it's out of the way. Merge down. Sure, all of that is on its own layer. Okay. Last order of business. We are just going to create two buttons here. That we will work on shading a little bit later. Okay, well that didn't work out my way. That tool sometimes bothers me. I don't really like this contrast between this silver and this really bright purple, so I'll work on changing that a little bit later, but we have something there. So we made some pretty good progress. I know we didn't get to any shading or lighting on this stream like I wanted to. Oh, Ravina is here again. Hi, Ravina. How are you doing today? Ravina says it's looking cool. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very excited for this one. These are my characters, so I get really excited when I get to draw them. Anyhow, I will be back next weekend, and I'm either going to continue working on this, or I'll be going back to the mock branding project. It kind of depends. I took a break from the mock branding project this weekend because I've been working in Illustrator nonstop for the past week, both at work and doing the Illustrator challenges. So I just kind of wanted something different than vector work to kind of sink my teeth into, and I thought this would be perfect to continue working on and stuff. Umacorn is saying, I really like the texture, by the way. Thank you, Umacorn. I also really like the texture. If anyone is interested in the brushes, they are Maddie's children's illustration brushes. So you guys can check those out. Maddie Belwar, who's another streamer here on Behance. Jack is not streaming today. Normally I would say go watch Jack stream. But on that note, I wanted to say thank you everybody for joining today and checking out my my little illustration and stuff. You guys are very appreciated. Ravina is saying I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well too. I am. I'm unfortunately about to finish up though, so I apologize. Everybody's saying thanks for the stream. Thank you guys for attending the stream. You guys are the best. And then Kuroko is saying, is that a tortoise on the sofa? No, that is Grogu from The Mandalorian, the Star Wars show. We were actually talking about him earlier. Oh, RB is here. RB says, hey, Sarah. Thanks for joining. I am literally about to wrap up, though. So I'm sorry about that. On that note, thank you, everybody who joined today. Bliss, Dave, Gareth, Jack, Odari, RB coming in at the end, Kuroko coming in at the end, Raj, Ravina coming in at the end, Stephen Booth, Umacorn. You guys are the best. And I will see you all next weekend. Bye, everyone.